Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. We're about to dive into an engaging topic: master the art of flirting, 6 psychology-backed strategies to spark attraction. In this presentation, we'll explore practical, proven techniques to help you feel more confident and natural when flirting. We'll cover key strategies backed by psychology that can make a real difference. So let's get started and unlock the secrets to effortless attraction together. The truth about flirting is actually pretty straightforward. Some people seem to have a natural knack for it, almost like it's in their DNA. But for most men, it's something you actually have to learn. You need to understand how to spark attraction and make that genuine connection. And here's the thing, even very confident guys can sometimes freeze up when they're face to face with someone they really want. It's completely normal to feel that way. The good news is, flirting isn't just a talent, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned and perfected with the right guidance. That's what we're here to do. I'm going to share with you 6 powerful, psychology-backed strategies that you can use to flirt confidently with any woman. Plus, I'll tell you about one thing you should never overdo, because that's often where guys trip up. And to keep things fun and engaging, we're going to count down from 6 to 1. So let's get started and see how these strategies can transform your approach to flirting and attraction. Now let's talk about strategy number 6, project confidence, even before you feel it. Confidence isn't just useful in flirting, it's actually a foundational skill that can be developed. Fortunately, it's also something you can train. Modern behavioral psychology has shown us that our physiology and psychology are closely linked. When you physically act confident, standing tall, shoulders back, taking up space, your brain starts to interpret those signals and begins to generate the corresponding emotional state. This is the core idea behind the classic "fake it till you make it" approach. Acting confident can actually accelerate the process of becoming confident. So, a simple but powerful exercise you can try is to stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, keep your chin parallel to the floor, and stop fidgeting. Though if you need to, you can keep your hands in your pockets until you feel more comfortable. You'll notice that doing this makes you feel more grounded, composed, and capable. And of course, others will notice too. This ties directly into our overall theme of building genuine confidence through practical, actionable steps. All right, let's talk about strategy 5, using eye contact like a man who knows what he's doing. Eye contact is actually one of the most intimidating and yet powerful tools for flirting. Many men tend to look away quickly when a woman catches them looking, and that usually signals nervousness rather than confidence. The trick here is simple. Hold eye contact for about 3 seconds. It might feel like a long time, but it really sends a message of interest and self-assurance. To keep things smooth and avoid coming across as creepy, pair that eye contact with a small smile, a nod, or even a subtle wave. And if you're feeling bold and you know her well, a playful wink can be very effective. If she blushes, smiles, or giggles, acknowledge it with a warm smile. Then the next step is either to approach her or gesture for her to come over. The key is not to just stare from across the room. Use eye contact as a way to connect, then follow up with an approach. That's how you turn a simple glance into genuine chemistry. All right, let's talk about strategy 4. Use humor, but never lean on it too much. Humor is one of the fastest ways to build attraction. It creates instant chemistry and helps lower emotional defenses, making the other person feel more comfortable and connected. But here's the key: humor has rules. First, avoid over-joking. If you joke too much, it can come across as try-hard, and that actually kills attraction rather than building it. Second, steer clear of self-deprecating jokes about your insecurities. They might seem humble, but they can signal low self-worth, which is a turn-off. And third, be careful with insulting humor. Even playful insults can stick emotionally and backfire, so it's best to avoid those altogether. Instead, follow a simple formula. Use up to 3 light, well-timed jokes during a conversation, one early on, one in the middle, and one at the end. Laughter releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in our brains. The more she laughs with you, the more she will associate you with positive feelings. So use humor strategically. And remember, a few well-placed jokes can really enhance the overall connection, but overdoing it can do more harm than good. All right, let's talk about strategy 3. Tease her playfully, not cruelly. Teasing, when done right, can create a kind of tension, the good kind of tension. It's not about insulting her or making her feel bad. It's about taking her on a small emotional roller coaster that's fun and engaging. The key here is to wrap a tease inside a compliment. For example, if she mentions her sister, you might say, "Is she as beautiful as you? Is she single?" And do it playfully, of course. This communicates interest and confidence without crossing any lines. Another example, if she asks your age, exaggerate it by about 30 years, like, "I'm 67. Life's been rough," and then wink. When she asks again, give her the real answer. Don't drag the tease out too long. A good tease should make her smile or gently nudge you. Highlight something positive about her. And create playful tension without causing any emotional harm. And if she doesn't react well, maybe she's a bit taken aback. Just laugh lightly and say, "Okay, too much, I'll tone it down." This shows emotional awareness, not insecurity. Remember, the goal is to keep it fun, light, and respectful. And to use teasing as a way to build connection, not to push her away. Strategy number 2 is to use touch to create warm, subtle chemistry. Touch is one of the most powerful flirting techniques because it helps break down the physical barrier between strangers and potential lovers. It creates a sense of connection and intimacy, but the key is to use it sparingly and appropriately. Always be aware of her reactions and comfort level. Some safe and effective examples of touch include a light squeeze on her shoulder as you say goodbye, a playful elbow bump during teasing, or a gentle, friendly nudge. These touches are light, natural, and playful. They help build rapport without overstepping boundaries. On the other hand, there are things to avoid. Never touch intimate areas, never hold her too long, and definitely avoid putting your arm around her too soon. Also, be attentive. If she pulls back or seems uncomfortable, respect that and pull back yourself. The goal is to gauge her response and proceed accordingly. A good guideline is to advance slightly with your touch. If she responds positively, you can continue. If she resists or seems hesitant, it's best to pull back and reset the level of contact. Remember, touch should always feel light, playful, natural, and non-invasive. When used thoughtfully, it can significantly enhance your connection. Let's talk about strategy 1, limiting your sarcasm because it can really destroy attraction quickly. Sarcasm can be tricky. Even if she shares your sense of humor, using sarcasm in early interactions often comes across as mean-spirited or negative. It can seem defensive or emotionally cold, which isn't what you want at the beginning. If sarcasm isn't your natural strength, it's best to avoid it altogether. But if it is your style, save it for when she feels comfortable with you, when you've already built some positive chemistry, and when the interaction has some momentum. Early flirtation should be playful, warm, light, and energetic, not cynical or harsh. Remember, the goal is to create a positive and inviting atmosphere, and that's hard to do with sarcasm if you're just starting to connect. So keep it playful and genuine at the beginning. That sets the right tone for building attraction. All right, let's talk about the biggest mistake men often make when trying to compliment women. Usually, most men start with her looks, her beauty, her appearance, and honestly, that's what every other guy is doing. The problem is, that kind of compliment tends to get ignored because it doesn't really stand out. If you want to truly make an impression, you need to go deeper. Focus on qualities that reveal who she really is, her energy, her intelligence, her presence. These are the things that show you're paying attention to her as a person, not just her physical features. Her style and vibe are also important because they reflect her personality and confidence. And humor, that's such a powerful way to connect emotionally. When you can make her laugh or see her in a positive, light-hearted way, it hits her on a different level. Ultimately, when you tap into her emotions, her confidence, her humor, her energy, she'll remember you differently. It's not just about her looks. It's about creating a genuine connection that resonates on a deeper level. That's how you stand out and leave a real impression. Final thoughts, master the craft. Flirting doesn't have to be complicated or overly dramatic. You don't need to learn every single technique out there, and you definitely don't have to change who you are to be charming. The key is to choose the tools that feel natural and fit your personality. For example, standing tall can boost your confidence and show interest. Maintaining eye contact helps create a connection and shows you're engaged. Using warm humor can lighten the mood and make interactions more enjoyable. A gentle tease, when done kindly, adds playfulness and flirty energy. Touching appropriately can build subtle intimacy, but always be respectful of boundaries. And, of course, avoid sarcasm until the right moment, because it can sometimes come off the wrong way. These small, subtle behaviors, used consistently, can transform awkward encounters into confident, playful sparks of attraction. Remember, mastering this craft isn't about being perfect. It's about being present and genuine. When you do that, flirting becomes less about trying to impress and more about sharing a real, fun connection.